I'd say always look on the bright side of life, but he's about to explode in a little under 4 minutes. Alright, it's Bright Man. I don't like Bright Man, but I kinda like his stage. Not my favorite aesthetic, and also, his stage is kind of a weird mishmash of ideas. This one, though, is my favorite of them. We have an enemy where, if shot, the lights turn off. And another enemy where, if you shoot them, they launch fireworks which turn the lights back on. And we have a nice little section in which we just sort of get to demo that with minimal risk. I do like that gimmick, and I also like how they implement it. This one's a little weirder, though. We're riding grasshoppers across spikes. It's not a bad challenge. It's just, I don't get why this is in Bright Man's stage. I should also mention the music is so-so. Not one of my favorites, but it's okay. I think this game has a pretty solid soundtrack overall. It's just, there are certain songs I really like Skull Man, or Dive Man. God, remember that intro? I haven't forgotten that intro. Every once in a while I just think of a bit of that song. Would you also count these enemies as gimmicks? They're kinda nothing. They fall from the ceiling, but they explode pretty quickly. Oh, I should mention that I'm really happy to have Dive Man's weapon for this stage, because it's pretty useful. Its one problem is it's just not the most economic weapon in the game. Also, geez, double grasshopper, oh man. Also, Pharaoh Man's weapon, super powerful. So very useful if you just need an enemy out of the way. It's like a charge shot, but more so. Not bothering with that. I mean, granted, a lot of my weapons need a refill, but like, eh. Look, just eh. Alright, so got more of these guys. We can at least see these platforms, even in the dark. The red platforms fall after they get to the end of their semicircle. The green platforms go back. Those platforms don't fall even though they look like they should. And yeah, if you can manage to not shoot the enemies that turn off the lights, it would technically make it easier, but honestly I think just having them out of the way actually makes the level a little more bearable. If you couldn't see the platforms, of course, you just wouldn't want to hit them at all. Alright, so it's Bright Man. Let's see how this battle goes. I'm actually going to extend this episode a little bit just to explain Bright Man, because I hate him. He's actually not too bad of a boss, technically speaking, until he does this. Yeah, he's the time stop boss for some reason. Why? I don't know. Apparently his whole thing is that he activates a safety device in the eyes of robots which blinds them, but that just freezes them completely, even if they're in midair, and I don't know why. Honestly, this boss is a little nonsensical. But he's dead now. And for that we get Flash Stopper, which is the time stop weapon. Alright, so, pun. I guess Bright Man couldn't turn off the dark. God, that's such a bad title. Who came up with that? Why is it associated with Spider-Man? Anyway, time to explain why Bright Man sucks. So, I am taking this picture from the Fortress version of the boss, because that's the one I know slightly better. And quite frankly, we all know the refight is inevitable. So, Bright Man here has a time stop attack, and it sucks. We didn't see the reason why it mainly sucks, because if you did, I would have had to restart the run. So, when he stopped time in this fight, he just sort of shot at Mega Man for a bit, and that was it. That didn't seem so bad, right? you gotta be in the right place at the right time, right? And then you can dodge things. Well, yes, but you gotta be pretty specific, is the thing. So, I'm just going to highlight in red what I call the fuck you zone, because that's the zone where, if you even dip your toe into it, Brightman just says fuck you and hits you. If you are too far to the left, or too far down, one of the bullets he fires in a spread shot will hit you. Now, that's actually less dangerous because if I remember correctly, contact damage is actually greater than his bullet damage. And if you're too far to the right or really just any other direction, which either means above Mega Man's current position in the picture or, maybe sometimes left or down if he feels like it. If you're in any of those positions, he will just jump at you, and you can't do anything to dodge that. It really sucks, because, I don't like that as a design thing. At least, Flashman was a bad boss, but at least he makes sense because his ability is to stop time. Brightman just blinds people. Why does he stop you in midair? I feel like this boss would be way better if it was just a case of he stops your movement for a moment, because then if he does anything afterwards, you have that interruption that makes it more difficult to dodge that, but then you can actually do something to dodge him. Like if Flash Stopper just stopped you in midair and you fell to the ground and then he jumped, you could just slide out of the way with good reaction time, and that would be much better design. Now, that being said, if you're having trouble with Brightman, here's a pro tip that I wish I knew when I fought Brightman, especially in the Fortress boss, in which fighting Brightman took me probably twice the amount of time as all the other Robot Masters combined. He is programmed only to use the Flash Stopper when his HP value is equal to 16, 8, or 4. Now, you probably won't really bother counting out his little health blips, right? They're tiny, they're really hard to count up, so you probably just want to take your chances and just shoot him, and hopefully it doesn't hit a value of 16, 8, or 4. Well, here's the thing. The math isn't that complex, honestly. If you just know the charge shot values versus the single bullet values, you can probably avoid those health increments, but better yet, you could also shoot him once with the Mega Buster and then use his weakness Rain Flush. Because using Rain Flush without shooting him, he will hit his threshold for using Flash Stopper. If you shoot him once, he'll never hit those HP values, and he can never use his dangerous attack that I hate. I really wish I knew about that one before I recorded this boss, or especially the Fortress version, 'cause man, I really hate Brightman, and he sucks, but there is a way to cheese him that I didn't know about, and now I'm disappointed in myself. I still think Brightman's garbage, but also, I could have just walked around the garbage. There was a path there and everything, I just needed to look at the sign. Anyway, that's the episode. Stay out of Brightman's fuck you zone, otherwise he will deck you in the face. He has no qualms about it, he'll do it.